Hello, everybody. I'm really excited about today's guest. Today's guest has one of my favorite websites on the internet about the beard. He has a passion about the beard. Gary, say hello to the audience.
Hello, everybody.
Gary, first I want to ask you, before we talk about your amazing community website, I first want to ask you personally about your beard. How long have you had your beard?
This particular beard now is just about 7 years old.
Okay, so when you said that, give us the history of you and the beard, because when you say that, you've had beards on and off all the time. So give us your history.
Well, I've been wearing beards since probably about 1979, 1980. I had a strong desire as a child to have one because Grizzly Adams had one, and so did GI Joe, and I always had a GI Joe, so I had to have a beard. So 79, 80 is probably about when I started, and I always wore them short business beards, and never considered letting it grow long for some reason. It just never occurred to me. Probably because I didn't get to see a lot of long beards when I was a kid. So I kept it short. I kept a short business beard for many years. And then in 2005 was when I decided that I was going to actually let it grow long to see what I looked like with the long beard. And I enjoyed it. And in a previous interview that was actually done last year, I had shaved the beard off in 2007, and I blamed it on peer pressure. And it was kind of a combination of peer pressure, and I wasn't sure if I really liked the long beard. It was about 10 inches long at the time, and I shaved. And of course, after I shaved it, it was just like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? And I stopped shaving, and I haven't shaved since, and I probably will never, ever shave again, ever.
Sure, that's a great thing. Now, when you first let the beard grow out, you talk about peer pressure. What type of peer pressure? What did your friends and family say?
Well, when I had the short when I wore it was weird because when I wore a short beard, I got very little um, harassment about it. My friends would be like, "Oh, would you lose your razor?" Blah 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 blah. But once my short beard grew out into a nice business length beard, no one ever said anything. It wasn't until I let it grow longer and it actually got like beyond 6 inches that my friends were like, you look really old. You look like a homeless person. You're a bum. You need to trim it up. You need to shave it off. And it got to the point where it was just constant harassment with a few specific friends of mine. And even though I think they were joking, they continued the harassment over and over and over again.
Sure. And so when you finally did shave it, what was their opinion or what was their feedback when you did shave it?
I don't recall them actually saying anything.
Isn't that funny, right?
Yeah, I don't actually recall them saying anything about me having shaved at
Yeah,
all.
you would think they would throw a party or something if they.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, so you decided to let it grow back 2 years after that, and you haven't touched it since. Do you ever trim your beard?
I, well, when you say trim, it's like I've got a barber here in town that she won't touch my beard. Every time I go in to get it shaped, I want to get it shaped one day and give it like a light round shape to it. And every time I go in, she tells me it's not long enough yet. So, as far as trimming goes, I trim it. It seems like it grows a little bit faster on the left side than it does on the right. And the only thing I do is even it up maybe once a year.
Sure. I saw a man the other day who had a nice big beard, and I asked him about it, and he said he snips off the ends, maybe the dead ends, every now and then, and he says he feels it helps his beard grow faster. That's not why he's doing it, but he's noticed when he snips off the dead ends, it seems to grow faster. I've read some things online that people said that's not necessarily true. Have you experienced or heard any feedback on that either way?
Well, I mean, from what I've researched over the years, trimming hair really doesn't make it grow any better or faster. It is a myth. If you think about it, with all the shaving we did as young men, we should have beards down to our feet by now, if that were true. Because of all the shaving, my beard should be growing all the way up to my eyebrows, and maybe actually giving me a hairline. But yeah, it's not true. Some people, barbers and things, will say that it makes it look fuller when you trim it because it gives it a nice flat edge to it and might make it look a little fuller. But As far as I know, that's it.
And old men I know that decide to let their beards grow out, even then, they seem after a while to hit a plateau and it stops growing as fast as it originally was. Have you noticed this, and why do you think that's so?
Well, I think beards grow, and of course, I've got a lot of my own strange theories, but I think beards grow like in phases. When I first let mine get long in 2005, it seemed to reach 10 inches in no time at all, and I was amazed at how fast it grew. And then from that point, well, once I shaved it and I got back to the 10 inches, it seemed like after 10 inches, the growth slowed down to nothing. It's very slow. It's about 13 to 14 inches now, but it's taken the past few years for it to do that. I'm no longer, I was at the half inch a month rate, and then now I'm like half inch a year.
Sure. How often do you actually measure your beard?
I really don't. I really don't measure it too often. I measure it if I'm going to be in a competition. If I'm going to register for a comp, I like to measure it to see which category I need to be in.
Sure. I've actually haven't uh, decided yet or found any close competitions yet, but talk a little about that. Have you been in many competitions?
I've been in six, I believe.
How fun are they?
Huh?
How fun are they?
Oh, the beard competitions are wonderful. I mean, the people in the bearding community are just awesome. And it's great. It's hard to explain. I went to the Orlando Battle of the Beards in 2012. That was my first comp. And it was a smaller comp, and it was a little bit unorganized, but it was still a lot of fun, and I met a lot of people. The next one I went to was the Nationals in New Orleans, which was last September in 2013, and that was a total blast. That was a 3 day long thing in New Orleans. They had press conferences and tours through the French Quarter for everybody, and it was a lot of fun. And I met even more people, and everybody. And there's not one single person in the bearding community that I could say anything bad about. I mean, everybody I've met has been just so incredibly nice and so fun to be around. It just makes the competitions that much better.
Sure. And how'd you do in the competitions?
I have not won one yet. At the Nationals, I came in my group. It's hard to explain. There were 27 competitors in the full beard natural group, and we were broken up into three groups of nine. And I came in. I think I was a finalist. I came in third or something like that in my group, but I made the top 10 out of 27. So that wasn't too bad for my first national, my
Sure.
first big win. And then I did the Miami comp at Bombs competition they had down in Miami, December 28th. I did that, and that was a lot of fun. And
Sure.
then I judged at a competition in Orlando for Beards for Autism. Had a small competition, and I was one of the judges for that. And then I went to Charleston for the Holy City competition. I think that was at the end of May. I forget when they were, but that was a great, great competition. That was almost like being at a rock concert. It was just
Wow.
amazing.
All right.
The lights and it was just amazing.
Getting back to your beard, Gary. What
Yes.
about the color of your beard? Has it always been gray, or when you first grew it, was it more pepper color, or was it black, and did it turn gray? How was that?
Well, of course, when I was younger, my beard was all black, and it was black up until about 2000. Well, I mean, I had some gray stripes in it, some skunk stripes in it, but it was half black, half gray. And then in 2002, in December of 2002, my father passed away, and that was in just before Christmas. And then by March of 2003, my beard was completely white. And they
Wow.
say that can't happen. They say your hair can't just turn white, but I'm here to tell you it does.
Okay.
Because I still had the stripes in my beard at the time, and they're gone. The only color I have left is a little in my mustache and a little bit here in the goatee area.
Have you ever met somebody whose beard was gray and then turned black?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay.
But no, I haven't. But I've read that if you use certain herbs, that over time, and it takes about a year, your beard will go back to its natural color. Now, how true that is, I don't know.
Well, that's my next question for you, Gary. Since you have so much experience with the whole idea of beards, is what do you think about? It seems like every other day there's somebody coming out with a new kind of beard oil or beard soap or beard product. Do you think some of them are valid? Do you think they're all just hype, or what do you think about these things?
Oh well, I've got a lot of beard oils and I've tried them. I don't particularly care for the beard oils, and being in Florida as you are, you can understand adding an oil to my beard is just, when it's 96 degrees outside, just doesn't make a lot of sense because, what doesn't get absorbed in is just going to drip off.
Sure.
Even if you put it in sparingly, it's still going to, if it doesn't absorb in, it's still going to go somewhere else. So I don't use beard oils so much, and I don't use a lot of beard balms because they have beeswax in them, and of course that's another heat sensitive kind of a thing. If I go outside 96 degrees and I've got beeswax in my beard, well, it's not going to be very pretty.
Sure. Sure.
I do, I've stuck with the same beard wash and beard conditioners over the years. About the past 5 or 6 years, I've been using the same products. And I use a beard balm when I want it to stay and be presentable for, like, a get together or something like that. I'll use this beard balm by Roughneck. Or to me, now one of the greatest products to me that's made for beards is by Coulter's Tonic. And it's just, and I hate to use the word, but it's like an aftershave. You can get it in different sizes, and there's a spring, summer, and I guess a winter, fall mix. That's kind of new to me, but it's a liquid, and you can just wash it off. Well, you don't even need soap to wash it off, but it's a liquid. You put it in your hands, put it on your beard, it makes your skin tingle, and it kind of gives your beard like a fluffiness to it, and it's wonderful. I used it just before I came on air, and I love it. I love it. I take it with me everywhere I go. Any competitions I go, I take it with me and pass it around to let everybody try it out because I love it.
Wow. Wow. That's great. And what was the name of that?
That's Coulter's Tonic.
Okay.
They're on Facebook, and they make oils and other things, I believe, and I've never tried those, but the tonic itself, I'm absolutely addicted to. I just think it's awesome.
Now it's not aftershave, or is it? Or is it just used like aftershave? What is it?
Well, the reason I say aftershave is because, think about when you shave, when you used to shave, and you'd put aftershave on your face and it would make your skin tingle. This is the same thing without having to shave.
But is it promoted as a beard product?
Yeah, oh, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, great,
Yeah,
great,
yeah. It has nothing to do with shaving.
great, good.
It's a beard product. And I can't think of what, I think it's got witch hazel in it. It's got some other stuff in it, but it's a liquid. It's not, if you drip it on your shirt, it's not going to leave an oil stain
Sure, sure.
like a beard oil would do. And like I said, well, once you're done running it through your beard, you just run your hands underwater and it's gone. I think the main ingredient is aloe vera.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, one more question before we talk about your amazing website, and that is the mustache. Do you ever trim your mustache?
My mustache has been, and now when I say it's been trimmed maybe twice since 2008. And when I say trimmed, I mean I've trimmed like one hair. Every so often I get like one mustache hair that grows down into my beard, and it's like 3 inches longer than the rest of them. And it's like, no, I can't have that. You've got to be in line.
Yes, yes.
But other than that, no, it's not been trimmed since I stopped trimming it in 2008.
Yeah, I don't trim my mustache, and I see a lot of people with big beards. They do trim it, and it just to me it looks out of place. It's
Well, I always did trim it, and then somebody said the same thing. They're like, well, if you're going to let your beard go, why won't you let your mustache go? And I never had before. So, and I mean, I love it like this. I love the walrus stash. I think it looks cool. It definitely filters anything that's going in my mouth, as far as out of the air, which is, one of the healthy side effects of having a beard.
yeah. Do you ever get any negative comments about your beard?
I used to. I haven't lately. Usually now, I get compliments. Sometimes a little lady might pass me by and she'll put her head down and shake, and it's like, whatever. But a lot of times I find, like, if I'm in a store, Target or Walmart or wherever, young guys might stand around and stare at me. When I walk by, they'll be like, cool beard.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, cool, thank you.
Do you know of any health benefits to the beard?
Well, the beard, they've done a lot of research lately, I guess, and I know one of the health benefits that I just mentioned was that the beard, the mustache, and the beard actually help filter the air that goes through, into your nose and into your mouth. So it can actually, and there was research done in '73. I don't know how good the research was, but they came out then that men with facial hair, beards, and mustaches have a 39% less chance of getting um, gum disease and
Respiratory.
respiratory problems because your mustache, the beard is so much more absorbent than head hair. It's thicker, it's much more absorbent. It absorbs everything out of the air, that's around you. And so it stops it from going into your nose, it stops it from going into your mouth.
Sure. Wonderful, wonderful. So, what about the whole idea of shaving in general? Do you see like the obsession we have in this country with shaving? Not only men, women as well. Do you see how more and more it's becoming more of an issue and worse, or like companies are making a lot of money promoting the whole idea of shaving? And what do you think about this?
Well, I really wish that big companies would drop these anti-beard policies, unless, of course, it's a health or a safety risk. But other than that, I don't see what a beard has anything to do. I mean, there's beautifully groomed beards out there, and they're just amazing to look at. Um, I think that's ridiculous. I've noticed lately, even the city I live in, Titusville, which is about 50,000 people. I was over in the grocery store the other day, and I was looking at, they have the big rack up by the registers of all the shaving products, and it's mostly women's shaving products now. The men's stuff is almost gone.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised by that because it used to be like all the top three rows were men's products, men's shaving razors and blades, and then the bottom two rows were women. Well, it's been reversed now. The top 4 or 5 rows are women's shavers, and the bottom two are men's, and it's very scant supply of them. So to me, it definitely looks like they've lost a lot of the men's money, and they're going after the women.
Sure.
But of course, like you had asked in one of your previous videos, probably a few years ago. I mean, I don't advocate shaving for men or women. I mean, body hair is natural. It holds, it holds pheromones. It protects us. It protects our skin. It protects what's going in our bodies as far as our, out of the air. It filters things. It's a win-win situation to me having a beard. I couldn't shave it if I had to.
Exactly, exactly. So now you have this passion for beards, which all men should. Tell us about your amazing website, which is just a great community of men with beards. Give us the name and tell us when and why you started it and some of the stories you have about it.
Well, it's called the Society of Bearded Gentlemen, and it can be found at beardedgents.com. I started it in 2009, February 2009. There used to be an old website called mybeard.org that it had about 6,000 members on it, and the webmaster decided to just call it quits. I guess he was tired of handling it, and he announced in January of 2009 that he was going to close it in March. And everybody was just like, how are we going to keep in touch? How are we going to keep in touch? And, a few people were batting around ideas, and I kept thinking, I thought about it for a few weeks, and I thought, I could probably do this, but I had a friend of mine I was talking to up in Wisconsin, and he was like, why don't you just do it? Just give it a shot. Try it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does, it does. And so I went ahead and did it. And, it's done well. The site's going to be 6 years old in February. And we've got coming up on 5,000 members now.
Wow. It's
And,
wonderful.
and it's great. And lately, particularly, and I'm not sure why, but lately the members have just been pouring in. It's crazy. This is usually after any major competition anywhere in the world. I mean, if there's a major competition in Germany, I'll start getting more members after the competition's over. Los Angeles. It doesn't matter where the competition is. After competitions, I start getting new members. But now I haven't. I guess there have been a few competitions that I was unaware of. So that could be perhaps the reason.
Yeah. Well, I want everyone to check out that website, beardedgents.com, right?
Yes.
Yes, and I'll put a link here below the video so you can see that and check that out. And Gary, I know you're so busy with that site and everything else. I appreciate so much you taking the time to talk to us with your glowing beard.
Oh, you're
It's
most
glowing
welcome.
today. Yes. Tell us, is there anything else you want to add about the beard?
It's awesome, and if you're not wearing a longer beard, you should let it grow because there is a big difference between wearing a business length beard and wearing a long beard. This is a major investment in time. And where a business beard, you can shave it off and grow it back in 3 weeks. This is not going to grow back in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I always say if you can't grab it, it's not a beard.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, and a 5 o'clock shadow was definitely not a beard.
And and I've said it before. I mean, growing your beard out, it's not just growing your beard out. It's almost like a spiritual journey because you find out about people around you, the people that are going to harass you, the people that are going to like possibly stay away from you because they don't like your look. You learn about people, you learn about how shallow a lot of people can be, and they base things solely on this. It doesn't matter anything else, it's just the beard. All they see is that, and they just think bikers or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, it's crazy, and that's why I always tell people to support your beard groups because they're the ones who get out into the public. They do community service things. They help people. They sponsor the competitions and they donate to the charities. And I'm always pushing that. It's because that helps us.
Well,
You
that's
know
an
that, that
important topic, Gary. How could, of course, other than joining on your website and getting the word about your website, what's a good way people can support your website and help you with what you're doing?
well, I mean, as far as the website and members, I do take donations because it is a free website. Um, but like I said, I just urge people to find out where your beard groups are. Find out if you've got a beard group in your area, join it, become an active member of it because, like the Minneapolis group, they help charities rebuild bicycles, I guess, in the police department, they help rebuild bicycles for them, so that underprivileged kids can have bicycles. They all do different things like that. They do different types of community service, and that lets that lets that community know that not all bearded guys are street people. I mean, we're good people. We're definitely good people, and that's the best way to help people realize it.
Definitely. Well, Gary, thank you so much for this interview and for what you're doing. And it's great to know you. And your website is wonderful. I visit there often. I want everyone to get to his website. So, Gary, thank you, brother, and beard on.
Oh, definitely beard on. You're welcome.
Okay.